Lab 4, we're going to look at tissues. Histology is the study of tissues. And a tissue is a group of cells with common structure, common function. We are going to look at 4 different groups of tissues. We have epithelial tissue, which we're going to start out with, and this is the outermost or innermost layer of cells and tissues within an organ. So your skin is epithelial, the lining of your digestive tract is epithelial. Now, epithelial is going to be categorized by shape of the cell and by the number of cell layers we have. So the generalized shapes we have are flat, squashed ones. These are squamous. They're looking very flattened. This is a different type of tissue. We also have cuboidal, which look kind of squarish with a fairly large nucleus in the middle. And then we will have columnar, where the nucleus will be towards the bottom of the cell. So you can see how wide these cells are. They're very thin, but they are very tall, column-like cells, and you can tell by the difference between each of the nuclei. We will also look at them by the number of cell layers. Some of our tissues will have a single cell layer. So here is one single cell layer of cuboidal cells. That's called simple. Or it may have many layers. And when it has many layers, it is stratified. The one thing about your epithelial cells, when you're looking at the tissues, what you want to be always looking for is on the slides, you will find the open space where there is nothing. This is the inside of the organ or the outside of your skin exposed to the environment. So this free space where there is no cells, there is nothing there, will indicate that it is epithelial, since it is either outermost or innermost. Now with the epithelial, we are going to look at simple and stratified versions of squamous. We're going to look at simple cuboidal. We are not going to look at stratified cuboidal because it's relatively rare. We're going to look at simple columnar, not stratified because that is relatively rare. And then we're going to look at 2 other types. We have what's called pseudo-stratified columnar. Pseudo means falsely. So this is falsely stratified. It looks like, by the fact that there are a number of different nuclei here, that there are many different layers. But in reality, the nuclei are not all in the same layer. So some will be in the middle of the cell, some will be towards the bottom of the next cell. So it's not nice and obvious that there's only one layer of cells. In addition, your pseudostratified is all going to be ciliated because it's found lining your trachea. So it'll have these little hairs right here on the outskirts, which will be used to move material by. And the other type of tissue we will look at is transitional. Transitional is found only in the urinary bladder, and it's called this because it transitions in shape and structure depending on whether the urinary bladder is empty or full. When it is empty, they will look kind of columnar. When they are, and it will look like many layers of columnar. When it is completely full, it will stretch, and they will then start to look more like squamous. Okay? So we have a number of slides you're going to look at. Okay? With this one, and these are all online, what you want to do is we've given the name of it, and you have the name of what tissue it is that you're going to find the different types of tissue in. This is the lung and bronchioli, and we're going to look at these areas right here, the magnified area. This is where we're going to find simple squamous. Okay? Now, we have identified other types of tissue that you can find also on this slide, but focus on the magnified version because that is what I will put the picture of this and identify what it is. Simple, there's only one layer. Squamous, these look like they are flattened, and it is free space, air space in between each of those. Then we have simple cuboidal. Here we have our kidney, and we're looking at these are all tubules. You can see the free space in there, and these tubules are going to be lined with one layer of the cuboidal cells, so it's simple cuboidal. The next will be simple columnar. With the simple columnar, we're looking at the gallbladder. We're looking inside. Here's the free space. We're looking at the cells that are lining these little extensions inside the gallbladder. And when we look at it up close, we can see the free space. This is under 400 magnification. And that the nuclei are close together. They're towards the bottom of the cell, so the cells are pretty long, thin columns. And then we have the pseudostratified. Your pseudostratified is going to be found in your trachea. We have a longitudinal section of the trachea here, and you can see with a little furry border right along the edge. Again, these will all be magnified at a high level of 400x when you look at these in the slides or on the pictures. We then have transitional. This is your urinary bladder. This is showing where the urine will be stored when we produce it, when the bladder is empty. And then here is the close-up. It looks like there are many layers of cuboidal because they've got the big nuclei. So it looks like it's stratified cuboidal, but we don't see stratified cuboidal because it's rare. So if you think it looks like stratified cuboidal, then in your mind you should be saying, oh, that is definitely transitional. Okay? And you see the free space in all of these to give away that it is epithelial. Now we're going to look at a couple of stratified tissues. This is stratified squamous. Here is the free space. The top layer is what you name it after, and they all look kind of flattened and squished. And this layer goes all the way down. This is all stratified squamous, many layers. This is found in the esophagus. We have two different types of stratified squamous. This is called stratified squamous non-keratinized. These cells do not produce keratin. This is found in your esophagus where it's moist, so you want to keep those cells nice and healthy all the way up to the surface. And you can see the little nuclei in there to indicate that these are living cells. The second type of stratified squamous is called keratinized stratified squamous. And this, if you look at the overview, you can see this top layer is dead. This is your skin. Okay? We will look at that in the integument also. This top layer is all dead, flaking cells. So here we have this whole layer is stratified squamous, but you can see in the top layer there is no nuclei. It's just dead, and I will definitely bracket this and say what is this whole tissue layer called, so it would help you with understanding that it is many layers of stratified squamous.